说起的真，搞完这个真，然后点真是我真能把这些就我自己是那么当，我这里当然让什么这嘛几吧，让这里嘛几吧嘛这生前的看嘛上节长的嘛这上这里咱们当嘛真些咱们这里，他在对吧当天对吧就当天把手机咱这这里对我们这个热衷度啊，对吧？我们这里我们这个热衷度。
So this is kind of a sense of some of the benefits of meditating on loving kindness, cultivating loving kindness. Also, you will have a happy mind. Your heart will be happy. You will have joy in your heart. And also, it is through the power of love that Buddha Shakyamuni subdued the armies of Maras. That were coming at him, that they were defeated through the power of love, loving kindness. And also, when we cultivate loving kindness, then we don't have anger or aggression. And when we have no aggression, then naturally our minds are in a state of peace and happiness. It's like Shantideva said in the Bodhicharya Avatara, the guide to a bodhisattva's way of life, and he said, the real enemy is this mind of aggression, this mind of anger. And when we subdue the angry mind, then we subdue all the enemies at once. And so when we cultivate love, loving kindness, then for ourselves and for others as well, we bring auspiciousness, auspicious good fortune, happiness, perfection of happiness and joy. And also we no longer have any threats or to ourselves, like we are no longer vulnerable to harm from others because of the power of love, loving kindness. So thinking in this way, also when we cultivate loving kindness, then in the future we can be reborn in the Brahma Pure Land, the God's realm, highest Pure Land of Brahma. It's called the Brahma Pure Land. Oh no, Sambe Jiktendi Shinkam Rane. Oh, it's not a Pure Land, it's a God's realm. But it's it's called the Brahma's Paradise, it's called. So the benefit of the loving kindness is like this. And also, I just gave you kind of like the summarized version of the practice of loving kindness, where you think of the kindness of your mother, and you think of or reflect on the 4 kinds, or the 4 ways that the mother has shown us kindness, which is by giving us a body, by protecting our lives, by showing us right from wrong, what to accept, what to reject, and by sacrificing her own well-being and undergoing all kinds of hardships for our sake. So first we think of these 4, and then the 5th is we remember that our mother has not just only shown us kindness this one time in this one life, but countless lifetimes, lifetime after lifetime in samsara, that she has shown us this kindness. Because even the Buddha cannot put a number on the number of times and the number of sentient beings there are and the number of times each one has been our mother. And so we should then practice this, think of this, and recite the prayer that may all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness.
那么，如果我们能够真正长养慈心的话，它的利益是什么呢？首先就是我们内心会感到愉快，没有愤怒，没有攻击性。因为佛陀当年因为他有慈心，而能够降服众多的魔君。在吉天菩萨所写的《入菩萨行论》里面也讲到，真正的敌人是什么呢？我们真正的敌人是我们内心的嗔恨。当我们能够降服我们的嗔恨的时候，我们就降服所有的魔。那么，当这种圆满的时候呢，我们可以得到圆满的快乐跟喜乐。我们也没有任何的东西可以危害我们。 那么至于将来的受生的时候会升到婆罗门的天堂，是一种很快乐的个天界的地方。那么在这边我只是给你们一个纵观这个综合这个简略的讲到修习持心的一些要点，然后讲到前面第4种，为什么母亲对于我们的慈爱有哪4个方面，包括给了我们这个人生，给了我们这个身体，对我们做种种的保护。那么教我们是非对错，而且为了我们的安乐呢，他牺牲了自己。那么在第5个层次，就是不只是此世，在所有世过去世里面，反反复复重复的给予我们许多的慈爱跟照顾。那么对我们的这个慈爱的程度呢，其实佛陀都不能数尽。所以以此之故，我们常常发愿，愿众生得乐即乐因，离苦即苦因。
那这前吧，这对吧？工作的哪怕当两百3天3天，然后妈就有嘛的上这些的，这里前吧的前做吧，这几个一万多的，我们这个也中毒了。我这前吧的样子样子我中国也中毒。我在前吧就是去美国开的是呢，美国的开的是美国是呢，3天对吧的都不是结果的是，我3天对吧的都不是结果也是。我在前把这个情况里，我还是呢前把的你解决了。我在前把的解的这个这张6月的中度，前把接触通的接触5年级我就有呢，5年级我就有那上面在下面去做完了，就那边的事。我在那里，但是讲什么这里通的这里说，一通完了，这里结果的中度嘛。我前把接触通的解释，我这里蛮出来的样，这里2年结果的中度了。말이 더 누가 공산대 총수와 어때 이제 다들 랑마 인상 상황 이제가 신경 상황 인상 대두가 다 대두가 되려라 남가 그냥 신경 상태 랑마 인상 대두가 제방지 기관으로 대두 또 대두도 다들 제방도 최종 시험이나 대두신 그 정도
So then the condensed version is like if you don't have a lot of time to go through the more extensive visualization and the stages of the practice and reflection that was just explained, would be just to think to yourself, all sentient beings whose numbers are as infinite as space, all of them are my own mother, have been my own mother, are my own mother, and then in this way kind of do the process of recognizing them as your mother, recalling their kindness, and repaying that kindness. So when we talk about loving kindness, what is the ultimate objective or goal of this loving kindness? It is that we should basically have a longing for other beings, for sentient beings to have happiness, a desire for sentient beings to have happiness. And that is our objective, is for beings to be happy. And so really, loving kindness is very important because it is through and in reliance upon loving kindness that compassion can be cultivated. And then, so therefore, having loving kindness, cultivating loving kindness is very important. And before the mention of like attractive or pleasing quality, here this means that the way you should like look upon all other beings, like with loving kindness, is like you're looking at a really cute little like baby or a cute little child. You know, like the little children are so precious, and whenever you see like a little toddler or little child, it brings a smile to everyone's face. It sort of warms your heart, and that feeling of like seeing this cute, adorable little child. But that's how you look at all sentient beings, with that sense of like love and joy, like when you just naturally feel kind of like your heart being kind of warmed by seeing a cute little child. That's how we should regard all sentient beings, with that feeling of affection.
刚刚上一段最后这个中文翻译又加了一句，它应该是只有愿众生得乐即乐因，仁波切还没有讲到说愿众生离苦即苦因如果说我们平常在修习慈心的过程当中，我们没有时间可以详细来做这种观修这个反省的话，那么我给你们一个浓缩的版本，就是怎么讲呢？就是无量的众生都成为我母，然后由此来意念他们对我们的慈心，那么在这边我们想要回报他们。那么慈心是要众生得快乐，得真正快乐的一种动机，因为我们有了慈心，才能够再来修习长养的悲心。什么叫做慈爱心呢？就是当我们看到一个很可爱的小 baby 的时候，小婴儿的时候，或者是2、3岁的这个刚起步这个学走路的这个小孩的时候，我相信当你们看到这样的小孩、小婴儿、小孩的时候，小孩的时候，你们都会有脸上都会带着一种微笑，因为你都知道是对他们很慈爱，都看到他们都很快乐。那我们应该用同样的这种心情来看待每一个众生，就像我们看到这样子的小婴儿、小孩一般，那从自然的而然从心里面升起一种这种对他们的一种爱怜的心，又以这个来做基础来修习。
저는 제당진 다 참바 니게 지금 좀 상황 니게 답고 세대 가량 거나 참도 니게 답고 나지 요거야 로야 와 다我大脑大就过了，强他你大不了，种强的你是大脑一直是，我大不了，先边就做嘛，先边生气，先边强就现在大就呢，就该做的种意思，我真的，我就该做的，真就该嘛做呢，怎么上面他可能会给让修嘛的事，我真的现在强就生气呢要给让修的那种，这种多，我真就这种我真的。我自己真的当我做人家，我这种情，他像人家这种今天从我贡献呢，各种我是呢，他们这种的别上面这种的，他们这种的别上面这是像人家享受生活说明呢，这种我们在不管什么工作，这几乎上街头嘛那种的，他们这种的别上面这种多，我真的当我做，去上班回来了。两两，我大脑其实是如果就不要强求先大就能做到手的，大堂大房子就呢，在大街上过呢，完全我听了一般东西了不啦，我这老呀，这他强求什么意思？我们给他说的啦，
So Jigdan Sumgun used to always talk about, like in the context of the five-fold practice, he used to talk about loving kindness and compassion as being like the horse that you ride to get you to the state where in like a horse race, the fastest horse, the fastest rider will win the prize, and that prize being Bodhicitta. So then like through riding the horse of loving kindness and compassion, what happens when the fastest rider wins the prize? They become famous, they become renowned. So one becomes famous and renowned through the loving kindness and compassion, through the bodhicitta. So then loving kindness and compassion is like the horse, and then the fast rider wins the prize of like fame and renown through the fast riding horse of reaching bodhicitta. And so, and also compassion, loving kindness and compassion, Jigdan Sumgun spoke about these being completely indispensable. In the Gongchik, that is the singular wisdom mind, Jigdan Sumgun says, without these, doing Tsalung practice, you will never become Buddha. If you don't have loving kindness and compassion, all your Tsalung practice and so forth is not going to lead to your enlightenment. So these two are crucial. So now we can open it up to questions.
那么吉天松公祖师对于这个慈悲心的讲法是什么呢？他对于大手印五支道的里面讲到的慈悲心，他做了个比喻。他比喻说，这个就像我们所骑的这个马，如果说我们在一个竞赛里面骑最快速度到达目的地的人可以获得奖赏。你看这个目的地是什么？这个奖赏什么？就是这个目的地就是一个菩提心，那这个奖赏就是一个圣名。那我们想要骑很快的马的话，这个马呢就是以慈悲心来做代表。那我们有。
I have to correct a little bit. So what Rinpoche says is, so Jigten Sumgun said that loving kindness and compassion are like a fast horse, number one. Now, actually benefiting sentient beings is like actually entering your fast horse into a race. And when you win the race and the fastest rider gets the prize, that is like awakening bodhicitta. So everything else is a mistake in the translation.
Winning the prize and becoming famous, that is a symbolic of like when you achieve bodhicitta.
那我们刚好还没翻完，这可以继续讲。就是我们这个慈悲心呢，就好像一匹很快的、速度很快的马一般。那么，如果我们用这个慈悲心来真正利众的话，就好像我们骑着这个快马参加那个竞赛一样。那当我们在这个参加竞赛的时候，真正得到了奖赏的时候呢，得到盛名很有名的时候，这就是因为我们已经修到了这个菩提心，这就是从慈悲心一直到菩提心的3个阶段的这种比喻。所以那个吉天松公祖是讲说，我们是完全是没有办法舍弃慈悲心来做修行的。他在供习里面讲，即使你修得再好，即使你的气脉明点修得再好的话，如果说你没有慈悲心的话，这样是也没有什么效果的。那我们讲到这边，有没有什么疑问要提出来，大家一起来讨论的？
我就当所说的，他给过的，所过的那上心嘛，是吧？往在所下场那种塞路那种，在咱们这里功能这个嘛，是什么吃小那种的，在所那上心嘛，我这那往点呢，前边他的告诉的是，东边的点呢，大片他的告诉的是，要进这样这把题就没法说的是，我这没法说了。
So, regarding how you do the practice or the visualization, if you're doing the Guru Gule practice, what you need to know is you can visualize your own selves as Guru Gule, your own body, your own self arising in the nature of Guru Gule, and in your heart is the Hri syllable. And you can look at the image to get the idea, the picture of how to visualize. And in your heart is the syllable Hri, surrounded by the mantra, mala, and when you recite it, most likely it revolves actually clockwise in this case, although it's not stated here. But anyway, the point and important thing to remember is that you're meditating on yourself in the form of the deity, and that means that you should have the recognition that your body, your form as the deity appears vividly, but lacks any substantial solidity, lacks any kind of inherently existing solid nature. It appears, but in appearing, it is empty. So if you have the sense of your ordinary body of flesh and blood as like a tangible entity, like thinking of it as like earth or rock or stone, or as like a two-dimensional image that's painted somewhere, then that's not the correct view to have, but rather that in appearing you lack a solid essence, so you're appearing and empty. And by focusing on the vivid appearance aspect, this prevents falling into the extreme of nihilism, or the extreme of non-existence. And by being aware of the empty nature aspect, this prevents falling into the extreme of eternalism, or the extreme of existence. So that grasping, the fixation on either of these two extremes of nihilism or eternalism, existing or non-existing, is averted through this recognition of the appearing yet devoid of solid inherent nature. So this is what to remember when doing your deity practice. One thing I wanted to add here that I just left out was that whatever practice, a deity practice you're doing, what's most important is first to make sure that it's coming from a place of bodhicitta. You have to have bodhicitta.
刚刚第一个问题就是我们怎么样来我们要禅修古力佛母的时候，我们要怎么样来禅修？我们怎么样来观想呢？那目前的回答是：你观自己就是古力佛母，在你的心间有一个种子字、睡字，那么就是像这个照片上呈现的那个样子。那么在种子字、睡字的周围有咒曼，就是古力佛母的咒语的咒曼，顺时钟围绕。虽然在文里面没有讲到顺时钟，但是我想应该就是顺时钟围绕着这个种子字。那么本尊明现，但是没有实质的。这是什么意思呢？就是说，你看，当我们感觉到自己的身体是实有血有肉的，像这样子的话，你用这样子来观想本尊，这样子是不对的。那本尊是清清楚楚的呈现，但是你知道它是没有实质、没有实体的。如果能够这样子明晰的这样子来观想禅修的话，你能够摒除掉常见或者是断见的两种边界，不是执一切为常，或者是一种断见，就是这一世以后就没有了，这样不是，这是远离这两边的，所以是很清楚的呈现，但是它没有实质的实体。那么事实上，要补充的一点就是，不论你修哪一尊本尊，你在修本尊法的时候，很重要的是动机都是应该来自于发自自己的菩提心。
When you were speaking of the 7 characteristics, I had pleasing and attracted to as the 4th one, and I didn't understand the 5th one. Before compassion.
So again, the 7 are knowing them as your mother, recognizing them to be your mother, or her to be your mother. Then recalling the kindness of the mother, number 2. Number 3, repaying that kindness. Number 4, pleasing, seeing beings as pleasing to your heart, kind of like attractive, like in the way described. And then the fifth one is loving kindness meditation, sixth is compassion meditation, and seventh is bodhicitta.
那刚刚在讲到说这个菩提心，这个有7个层次，讲的是什么呢？那个第一个就是意念，了知众生过去皆为我母。第二个就是意念，他们对我的慈爱。第三个是发心想要回报他们的慈爱。第四个就是当想到这里的时候，感恩他们，让我们内心非常的愉快，就是让我们的非常就是非常的愉悦这样子。然后在第5个层次就是慈心的禅修，第6个是悲心的禅修，第7个是纯净的菩提心，有这7种层次。
Yeah, on Bodhicitta, what are the signs of accomplishment for the approach stage? You know,